Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Video number 2 for the day. This is a look at the Fiio JT1 as well as the K9, which is a all-in-one amp DAC. I did test the JT1 with this as well as my HD 490s. Of course, the XLR input, the 635 and 44 there at the front. Just a beautiful build in terms of its overall feel. The knob is great. You've got your outputs, your gains there at the front. And it does have Bluetooth as well, so it's a great unit. It's a different price bracket than my current daily driver, the Topping DX9. Overall, though, for music listening, really did brighten up the JT1 and just provided a very nice experience with great instrument separation for the JT1 for its price bracket, for a closed back. The soundstage didn't feel too constricted, and it's something that actually does perform quite well for gaming, and I think it's going to join the Wallhack certified tier list from a budget perspective at only $70, and I think on AliExpress you can get them for like 60 or 63 bucks or something like that. But a very nice unit. You've got faux leather ear pads, a little bit of a mesh inside, and a little cover over the driver. You don't have really any flex here for the drivers on the left or right side here, the ear cups on the left or right side. The headband is very comfortable. You can see it's kind of like an elastic if you guys are used to anything from Steel Series. You've got a little bit of that elasticity, and then a kind of metal frame here above. A very comfortable unit with, I think these are 10 millimeters circumference, the ear pads. Very, very comfortable. The sound isolation is fairly good, but there is a little bit of leak. It's almost like a semi-closed back in terms of the bleed that I get from these. But overall, the sound quality being very neutral, but the bass does have a lot of warmth to it on my DX9. A little bit clearer on the Fiio K9 in terms of brightening it up a little bit. I prefer the Topping DX9. A lot more bass quality and emphasis that really does shine through on the DX9. But overall, you're looking at a very neutral sound tuning, but with a nice punch on the bass and mid bass. A little bit of bleed into the mids, but overall, the vocals are very clear. The mid-range is clear. Instrument separation is fantastic within a track. I think that I could say the height on certain things, it doesn't quite go very high over your head, but you do get just a beautiful sensation of where everything is in a track. And for its overall tuning at $70, probably one of the best things, best closeback that I've personally tried under $100. And I think that a lot of people would be very happy with these from a comfort perspective, a build perspective. You're getting definitely a quality that you'd be satisfied with, I think, at $70. A good tuning and getting into gaming, it really is an experience, even paired with the K9 for most titles. I think the DX9, again, obviously performs better, but it's like 3 times the price or 2 times the price. Double AKM versus single AKM, but the AKM chip, I think, is one of my favorite right now for DAC chips for gaming. But taking these into Valorant with my Topping DX9, it is almost a perfect experience. I think it's one of the best things that I've used for Valorant. You're getting a very fun experience, a very impactful base with Vandals as well as Sheriffs, the Operator, but it's nothing that ever became too overwhelming. I still hear the minute details that's happening around me with a lot of clarity, and the soundstage is almost perfect for Valorant. The only thing with my Topping DX9 for Val that I can really point to is the depth perception could have been ever so slightly better. So when somebody is coming directly at me, it could have just been a little tiny bit better of a read of where exactly along the path they specifically were. But 9 times out of 10, it was perfect. Very good for Valorant, very good for Rainbow Six Siege with the Topping DX9. With the Fiio K9, both in Siege as well as Valorant, the depth perception just got a little bit slightly worse. And overall imaging, I feel, took a hit a little bit because I lost a little bit of the emphasis within the stage. And I think it's because the bass is actually just not as detailed, not as technical as it is on the Topping DX9. Again, I get a little bit of a bass boost actually moving from the K9, surprisingly, AKM K9 to the topping DX9. For Apex Legends, the K9 paired with it absolutely perfectly. Again, it's not really much of a difference moving to the topping DX9 over the K9 for Apex, which is really nice to see for the K9. But the topping DX9 does still take the cake. The only thing I can say for Apex is imaging, beautiful. The soundstage is surprisingly not too constricted, but it could be a little bit bigger. Separation, layering, fantastic for $70, particularly for a closeback, without having to change the ear cups, without really having to do anything. But I would say that overall, the thing that is just a little bit lacking is the emphasis on everything that is happening around me. So when a lot of like sub bass and mid bass is going on, so the storm behind you or ultimates going off, it's just a little hard to pick up on more of the minute things like people climbing walls, people climbing objects, people sliding in the dirt, which is more of like the higher frequencies. I feel like could be brought up a little bit. And then footsteps in Apex, just in general, are still a little bit more dampened compared to the closer maps in something like Valorant. But really, the imaging was great. The verticality was fantastic. The soundstage, again, could have been just a little bit larger, but not too bad. So overall, like, they really do work very well for almost every game that I use them in. I did not test these in Counter-Strike 2, but so far, Rainbow Six Siege, Valorant, which was really good on the topping again. Probably the best thing that these worked for was Valorant, again, with that amp tack. And then Apex was actually really, really good. If you guys checked out my recent video on the Skypad update, the Wallhack SP004 update, all of those clips in that video were actually taken while using this Fiio JT1. The sound quality in Valorant is awesome. You're getting a very fun experience taking these in game. The Vandal, again, is very theatrical. It's very action-packed, but again, doesn't drown out the things that are happening around me. So separation and layering are fantastic while still providing a very neutral but warm and fun tuning because of that punchy bass. And again, in Apex, surprisingly, I thought it was going to be more like punchy, more colluded. But overall, the tuning is actually quite clear. And again, just technically for $70, I just can't think of a better closeback to actually use over the JT1. So far, I have no issues in terms of the overall build. I've thrown these around. I've been swapping from these to the 490s to IEMs, placing them down, picking them up. So far, just no noticeable wear. You do get some decent swivel there from the headband, but again, overall, the ear cups just don't like have any movement at all. So that could be like the only thing in terms of the build, really. But overall, the big, cushy, comfy ear cups just felt and just very comfortable for long durations of time. So I really do think that Fiio did a super nice job on the JT1. I just feel closebacks are in like a kind of an interesting spot. I mean, there's just like not a whole lot that are really pumping out for under $200. I reviewed the Bear Dynamic MMX 300 a long time ago, and I actually really, really enjoyed those. I think even Jinxie is using them right now in Rainbow Six Siege, surprisingly. But I actually really like those paired with a good amp DAC. This cable actually does, by the way, have a microphone connected to it. I've heard other people do sound tests. I think it just sounds like sub-mediocre at best, mediocre maybe at best. Almost sounds like a microphone that you would expect from like an Apple EarPods. I would give you guys a sound test, but I've got this plugged directly into my amp DACs. I'm not plugging it into a Xbox controller or anything like that, but do keep in mind that for $70, the cable actually does have a microphone as well. So a decent option. I think that people that are kind of in this bracket, you're probably from the realm of like a Cloud 2. I think these perform better than the Cloud 2s paired with either the K9 or the DX9. I haven't used these with some of my cheaper amp DACs. I haven't used these plugged directly into my onboard audio, but definitely a better tuning, better for music, more fun in game, just overall more enjoyable. And then for just imaging and clarity, I think you get a slight boost over something like the Cloud 2. So keep that in mind if you're kind of like looking for, I think, a direct upgrade from something in that price bracket. These are quite good. That's it. The Fiio JT1, guys. I hope it helped. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.